If anybody's interested in getting more involved, there's ARA meetings, interrace action, at the Plattsburgh Public Library downtown every Thursday night at 6:30. So, I don't know, thanks again for coming out.
Or just being part of anything that seems small, like the hardcore community. 20 or 30,000 years ago, the human race was about as numerous as the hardcore community is now. And you could travel across the world and see people in the same numbers and with the same small communities, each with their own culture that you see today when you travel around the world with the hardcore bands. And so that means that what we're doing isn't any less important than what people did back then, just because they were, just because we seem less numerous in comparison to how many people there are in the world. And even if we are less numerous than the rest of the species, I just think the way to have an important life, the way to have a life that's meaningful, is to remember that whatever we do is what matters. And the most important story in your life is your own life story. And I know that the way that I'm able to feel like my life matters is just by concentrating on it and not worrying about the histories of great men and important people and all that bullshit. And basically what I've learned is that in a place like Plattsburgh or the edge of Korea or anywhere in the world, if you take what you do and what you feel seriously and consider that to be the most important drama of world history, you can make a romance, make an adventure for yourself bigger than anything that any book could mean for you. And that's what we're trying to do. So I invite you to join me in mine.
Maybe we can set it down over there and just leave it there.
Probably right. I was thinking about that.
Yeah. Hey, can we set the camera down like right here?
Alright, I need in here.
My voice is actually better.
I guess while Matt changes strings and stuff, I'll talk about the next song a little bit. This next song kind of reminds me when I turned 18 or 19 and I graduated high school and I pretty much decided to not go to college at all because my parents weren't going to pay for it. So, there was no scholarship given. So, you know, I had been working 2 or 3 hours a day after school. So I had this illusion in my mind that it wasn't that hard, you know, to fucking go out and, oh, I can do this all the time. I've been doing it. Which, you know, I had a big wake-up call when I started working 55 hours a week, and 1 year turned into 2 or 3 years and 4 years, and you know, hanging out and waiting for something to happen turned into just 10, 13, 14 years of waiting for something to happen and being surrounded by people who, you know, urged you to forget about your dreams because they weren't going to happen, you know, because even though I was working for a family business and I didn't have a big mean boss man looking over my shoulder, we had big mean competitors that weren't family businesses always looking over our shoulder. Which reminds me, you know, no matter how comfortable your job feels and how friendly the capitalism is, it's still there. It's still all based on competing for that one green fucking useless paper, you know. And so even though I was working for people that cared for me, it really didn't seem like it all the time. Maybe sometimes, you know, maybe when you called in sick, every now and then they understood and didn't need a doctor's note like some people's jobs do, but they still make you feel guilty and you still feel like a piece of shit when you, like, you know, when your other coworkers are towing the line for you because they have to compete with fucking, you know, the bigger store. Like, and I see that with co-ops and stuff. You know, we went to a co-op yesterday that, you know, everybody was talking about how it started off really nice and everybody worked there. And now it's Walmart. You know, it's a fucking big old store with lots of overpriced shit and mistreated employees. And it started off good and it ended up bad because of competition and that eye right over your shoulder, making sure you fucking, you know, pay the bills and compete.
What that means to me is I've been lucky enough to work as long as Ernie has. But what that means to me is that my own personal not working, my own personal refusal to compete with other people is by itself absolutely useless in a world that's based on competition. And those of us who don't want to spend our lives struggling all the time to fight against the other people, you know, the way that we do, we're supposed to fight back so that we create a visual cue for everything. You know, struggling all the time. I don't want to struggle anymore. Now push me over. Oh. See, we have to. That means that. That means that that my own personal desire to be free from struggle and competition with other people is, whether I like it or not, tied to everybody else's struggle to be free from competition, struggle to be free from this bullshit. And I don't get to fuck around and be like, all right, I've established my work-free lifestyle. I'm free now. Everybody else and their problems, they can go fuck themselves. If I want to be free, I have to figure out how to get you guys to be free with me. And I don't know, because prison isn't just a place that you go when they find you guilty of protesting about the way things are, whether you do it, you know, by putting a fucking sandwich in your pocket or by carrying a sign in Philadelphia. Prison is a state of mind, even, and it's a world that we live in where everything is a prison, as long as we're denied the benefits of cooperation with each other by being forced to compete. It doesn't matter whether somebody's buried alive in a housing project or in a condominium bought on credit or in a fancy fucking mansion with a swimming pool as long as they bury it. So this is our song about hoping to crawl out of the fucking soil and walk free today.
All right.